Is Clement ready?
Yeah, I'm recording.
All right, great.
Okay, so another big matchup in the NFC playoff race here in Week 17 is the Packers and the Bears. So we're going to do the keys to the game. So for the Packers, one big one is to control the time of possession in the game. Another one is to make Trubisky throw early and often. You're going to want to pressure him, make him uncomfortable, which is the exact opposite to one of the keys for the Bears. Another one is take Allen Robinson out of the game, defend him so he's not a key story in the game, make him non-existent on the offensive side, and then you're going to want to move around the edge defenders and don't fall for Nagy trick plays.
Yeah, so the Packers have this nice scheme for pass defense where they like to move around Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, and Zadarius Smith all around the front seven. So like if if the other team has solid tackles, they'll move them inside in order to get leverage and get to the quarterback. And that's gonna be important against a Bears team that has a really hobbled offensive line at some spots. And Nagy trick plays have been more limited this year, but like much like Doug Peterson, they're just like an attempt to get free yardage when the offense just isn't going. So like if you play it, if they get a look, they'll run it, but like just don't let one break big.
And for the key to the game for the Bears, they need to stop the run. Once the Packers are able to run, their offense goes crazy because Aaron Rodgers can just do play actions and hit the deep passes to Scantling, Devontae Adams. The Bears need to make Trubisky comfortable, so then Trubisky doesn't make those forced errors where he just fumbles the ball or throws interceptions. They need to establish the run. David Montgomery has been on a tear, and every time David Montgomery runs for 100 yards, they've got 40 plus points and have won the game. They need to have a heavy screen game to take the pressure off Trubisky from the insane defensive line the Packers have, and go after Kevin King. Get the matchups up with Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, and just overall just go after Kevin King.
And yeah, so the Packers have Jair Alexander, who's arguably a top 2 or 3 corner, who's gonna probably follow Allen Robinson throughout the game. So you want to get Mooney, Anthony Miller, any of your mismatches on Kevin King, who's just like burnt toast. His only good plays are interceptions, and even those are like against quarterbacks who love to just throw it up because he is Kevin King. Even a dud's gonna get a lucky pick once in a while. Right. And matchups, I guess. Wait, who was doing the match?
I think you're doing matchups, and I'm gonna do the injuries.
All right. Yeah. Um. So the key matchup in this game is obviously Aaron Jones against that stout Bears defensive line. That's gonna get Akeem Hicks back. Um. What they're ideally for the Bears, if they bottle up the Bears run game, their pass defense will be helped. And their pass defense, which is currently very good, is lacking because of the injuries to Jalen Johnson and Buster Screen. The Jaguars, who got blown out by the Bears last week, were actually pretty successful throwing across from Kyle Fuller because of his because of the Bears like lack of alignment on defense that they usually have with Jalen Johnson, who's been fantastic this year. Then for quarterbacks wise, you want Trubisky and to basically take Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith out of the game with read options that make them like think before just like bull rushing the offensive tackles, and that'll give them more time on like standard pass plays. And the last matchup that's important is probably going to be Aaron Rodgers against Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan for the Bears. And Aaron Rodgers is like remarkably great at getting on the run, and like he's not fast, but he'll like pump fake linebackers, and like he'll pick up easy yardage, and they just need to like stay disciplined, no penalties, tackle immediately, all that stuff.
So now to go through some of the injuries in the Packers Bears game this weekend. To start with the Packers, Jamal Williams, who did not play last week against the Tennessee Titans, is back to full practice today. And the only person who did not practice today for the Packers is Mercedes Lewis, who is a tight end for the Packers, who Aaron Rodgers occasionally uses in the red zone, but is not a big piece of their offense. And on the Bears side of the injuries, Akeem Hicks, who did not play, is back to full practice today. But an injury that just came out today is that Allen Robinson, who fully practiced yesterday, Wednesday, has not practiced today because of a hamstring injury, which is a big deal for the Bears because that is probably the best player on their offense at the moment.
Yeah, I think the Bears practice schedule is actually somewhat responsible for that. Like if they have lingering injury issues, they'll
I don't know. He practiced yesterday. I don't know why he
yeah,
didn't
he
play.
practices yesterday. Like all of their players who have like injuries they can play through practice full on Wednesday, then they'll go DNP on Thursday, and then tomorrow they'll go LP.
Okay. All right, that's pretty cool.
So I have the Packers winning 30-20 because I just think the Packers they're trying to wrap up the number one seed in the NFC, and even though the Bears are going to be trying their hardest to make the playoffs, I think the Packers just are too much for the Chicago Bears, so I have them winning 30-20.
All right. I'm gonna agree with that. Uh, Allen Robinson is gonna be a non-factor on Sunday because of Jair Alexander and those great pass rushers on the Packers. I think the score's gonna be somewhat similar to what it was on the last game, which was Sunday Night Football, like Week 12. I'll go with like 42 Packers, 16 Bears.
I think the Bears are actually going to win this 20-17 in a really close game, just due to David Montgomery's rise in production, and with the Packers struggling defensively, stopping the run unless it's played in snow.
I have the Bears winning this game, 34-27 against the Packers this week, because I believe that the Packers are going to get off to a really hot start, just like they did against the Panthers a couple of Saturdays ago. And I feel like they're going to take their foot off the pedal a little bit, and I think they're going to give up some really easy touchdowns and things like that, and that's really going to come back to bite them in the end. And I feel like the Bears are going to be playing really hard for that 7th seed or 6th seed, depending on who wins the Cardinals-Rams game in the NFC playoff race.
All right, big news. David Bakhtiari has gotten injured. We got this news while we were editing. So, yeah.